my ass.
That stuff on the bottom, Clay, you could shut that off, right?
What stuff?
The Kansas City creation, and then
The record.
the record and the game.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you can shut that off so it doesn't tell you whether you won or lost right when you log in. You can kind of surprise yourself through the soul vision.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Thanks for that.
I like to get bad news right away.
Not me.
I usually put my hand over it and then I open up the soul vision.
See, and I suspected that you might be doing that because I'm like, he probably doesn't want to know right when he logs in. So
yeah, if you go into your I think it's the multi-user options, or it's one of the options there you can turn off preview.
Yeah.
Slam, can you hear us?
I want to talk to Slam Thunder. Come on.
Is your mic not working?
Well, it looked like he had audio the first time he logged in. I saw a little blip on his microphone. Because I know sometimes when I plug in my shit, I look down in the left corner, it says I'm muted.
All right. While he's figuring that out, we can start with us, and when Howie hopefully makes it, he'll jump on. I'll let him in. Hi, fellas. It's the 2107 season.
Yes, it is.
You don't seem happy. By the way, are you running with Shea?
Well, I'm gonna start him, see how he does through the first few games, but I'm gonna have a pretty short leash. I like the looks of that Skip Granados that we just traded for. I tried to sign him in free agency and lost out on him to Paris, and he had a good season. And figure if Shea pulls his Shea-like antics, then I'll have a short leash and throw in Granados and see what happens.
I was just writing to Slam. He can hear us, but I guess that's a Christmas present we got to get for Slam.
New microphone.
New microphone.
Yep.
I'm just using my PS4 headphones.
Ask him,
Yeah, that's all I'm using too. Just plug
ask him
right
if
into
there's
the
a
computer.
particular brand he really likes. That we'll try and get that one. We'll get you.
I like the free brand.
Yeah.
Well, these are the records from last season.
Oh, don't show that.
Oh, we have to.
Yes.
Yes.
And what we can do is we can start from our side in NC North and work our way over.
Works for me.
Okay. We'll start in NC North. We'll start with who's going to take the division, and then who's going to be. We'll do this. Who's going to take the division? Who's going to be in last place?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It's
Cool.
my turn, Clay. Sorry. You had it last year. I get it this year. It's my turn.
Go ahead. You have the floor. Red zone.
That's as far as I'm going. What do you want to know? Who's going to win and who's going to be last?
Yes. We got to hear it from your voice.
Ooh, hang on. I think, Rick Vecito is going to tell you that Arizona's got a terrible roster and he's got a long rebuild ahead of him. And it's going to take at least 2 or 3 seasons. And I think he's going to be competitive right away. I don't know that he's going to be a winning team or a playoff team, but he's not going to be anything close to 0-16. And he's going to try and lull us all to sleep with that long rebuild talk. He knows how to play defense. He knows how to run the ball. He'll clean up the penalties and the mistakes. His game plans alone will buy him 3 or 4 wins.
Who's this QB he's going with? Is it Norris or is it?
That's Atlanta. He's
No,
Arizona.
Why am I
brother.
looking? Yeah.
No, his name is
Coffee.
Coffee, and I liked him. I thought about going after him. What I was worried about was there would be a bidding war, and it would take forever to figure out who was really going to get him, and he would cost pretty much, in the end, almost as much as the guy I traded for. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make the trade. It's quick, easy, and you're done.
Yep. I tried for coffee too, and I think he got him up from under me by just 3 million. That was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I like the guy. He looks solid. And
Yeah.
that alone will change his offense. So I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying he's going to compete for the division. I'm saying that if you think he's going to be 2-14, think again. I think him and Iowa could both be tied for last and still be 5-11 or 6-10 like last season. Iowa was 5-11. As far as winning the division, I sure hope that trading for that QB gets me back into the top of the division.
Let's look at your QB.
That's the goal. I mean, if you add him to the running back McIntyre, okay, now pick your poison. You're going to try and stop the run, or you're going to try and stop him. I'm going to run the ball to death and make you stop the run. And then last season, the numbers that Darrell Taylor put up weren't bad. He just wasn't good enough to win the close games. I'm hoping that the new QB will be. So, I mean, I'm not going to rely on the QB, but I think when it's time for him to step up, he'll be more capable than the guy from last year, Taylor. I'd like to think, I think we lost 4 games or 5 games by 7 points or less. I'd like to think, we can turn that around and win at least 2 or 3 of those games this year, and that makes us 9-7, 10-6, and in a tight division, it's at least putting us in the hunt. If not, I would like to win the division. That's my goal. Do I think Joe's going away? No, he'll be there. It won't matter what we do on tomorrow morning on Monday. That game will be a bummer for whoever loses it opening day, but that doesn't really have an awful lot to say. What I'll end up meaning more is the game when we play later in the season, the second game, and the last 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season when it's crunch time. Because like I said, I don't think anyone will run away with this division. I'm going to say Chicago, Kansas. I'll say Iowa, then Arizona, but I don't think it'll be by much. I think they'll be, like I said, both of them are going to be 5-11, 6-10, something like that, and right on each other's heels. And it won't take RG Vecito long to compete. And I don't think Jacek's that far away either. So, I mean, it could turn into a 4-team race as quick as next season, in my opinion.
Okay. Grim?
Arizona, I'm picking last. Iowa, I think they're probably going to win 2 more games because he seems to just be getting 2 more games every season with Biletnikoff, and that's a good thing. Then it's a toss-up. I think both of you guys probably make the playoffs. And who to pick to win, I mean, one of you guys has got to go 11-5, and the other one 10-6. So, oh, God. With Darrell Whitner, man, I think Chicago could go 11-5, and Clay, you go 10-6 again. So that's who I'm going to go. But I trust Rick when he says he's going to need a couple seasons for that team because it was pretty damn bad. But getting Coffee is a start. He's got that Shane Lane for tight end in Arizona, and he said he's going to work those guys, and he's got a running back that he can deal with. So we'll see. But I still say Arizona's bottom, then Iowa, and then Kansas, then Chicago on top. That's how I'm calling that.
C-Max?
Yeah, I think I got to go with. I think I got to go with those guys on it. Just looking at Chicago's offensive output last year, 424 points. They were putting up points without the new quarterback. So, I think the offense is going to improve. Yeah, I gotta go with Chicago, then Kansas, then Iowa, then Arizona. But again, I think both of you guys will make the playoffs because I think you're both playoff quality teams.
Well, Slam says Arizona's going to take last and Kansas will be first.
Ooh,
So
good. Everybody should be picking Kansas. I'd rather be the underdog.
that's okay. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I agree with Red Zone. Arizona and Iowa are going to be neck and neck, so it can be that 6-10, 5-11. But I'm going to put Arizona at 5-11. And between me and you, I think I'll edge you out because your quarterback has to get that cohesion. Red Zone.
That
And,
could be.
and that's how I'm seeing it. If your quarterback doesn't groove with your team, I might have that leg up on you.
And to get it on the record, I'm picking Chicago to be 12-4 and Arizona to be 4-12.
Okay. Let's go now to the next NC South. Outer Banks, Texas, Capital City, Motown. We'll start with C-Max. C-Max, who is going to be in last place? Who's going to take the division?
Well, I think Outer Banks, keeps the top spot in the division. Texas could certainly compete, but I think I don't know. I think Outer Banks has proven that they're the top team in that conference, at least until proven otherwise. Probably end up with a similar 10-6, 11-5 type record. Yeah, and then it's a crapshoot between Capital City and Moontown, to be honest. I mean, either one of them could win 6-7 games or, only win 3 or 4. It just kind of depends. Neither one of them could score much last year, and both of them gave up a lot of points. If I had to flip a coin, I'd say Moontown probably takes the last spot.
Interesting. Grim?
I'm back. You guys read Slam's predictions
I did.
in the chat? Okay, cool.
I'll read them right now. So Slam's saying for NC South, he's got Outer Banks taking it. He's got Texas behind him, Moontown, and Capital coming in last.
Right. Who'd you pick to win the North, Clay?
Myself, just edging out on Red Zone because of his quarterback.
All right.
I think his quarterback doesn't have the cohesion.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So, who do you take for NC South, Grim?
So,
Yeah.
I think that's Tony's to lose. I think Howie's going to make a comeback, but I think Tony can still take that. Well, just who's he starting over there for quarterback? Is it Quinn Nichols?
Nichols. Yep.
He did all right last year, didn't he? Yes, he did. Fitzgerald. So yeah, I'm gonna go. So Outer Banks, Texas should be second, but he'll be better than 6-10. I think Howie can pull that up to 9-7, maybe 10-6, and make the playoffs. I got Moontown coming up, then Cap City last. I pick as last just because he didn't get that wide receiver he wanted in the draft. And he still doesn't have anyone to throw to, and doesn't have any good running backs, no tight ends. So yeah, that's what I picked for that division.
Red Zone?
Well, I think this starts into something I was going to bring up when we got to the next division, but I'll bring it up now. I think Outer Banks is going to win this division again. I mean, he had a great year last year. I don't think that his team has gotten worse. I think he's either stayed the same or gotten a little better. I didn't pay that much attention. I was worried about what I was doing, but I mean, I didn't see him losing a ton of talent. He's still going to be there. Howie's a good GM. His team's going to get better. Is Grim right? Is he going to be at 9-7 or 10-6? I don't know, but he certainly can get up to 8-8, and he can be breathing down his neck at least to the last few weeks of the year. He's going to put pressure on him. What if Grim's right? What if he's 10-6 and he's in the playoff hunt? Well, look at the next division, because there's Brooklyn, Chesapeake, and Williamsburg all looking like possible playoff teams. And then look at the bottom. There's Colorado and Oakland and even Hanalei looking like possible playoff teams. And we're talking about, well, Chicago and Kansas, one of them, you guys can both make the playoffs. I don't think that's a lock. There's a lot of teams in our conference that could be in the playoffs, and winning your division is the only way to secure it for sure. Because if you're looking for a wild card spot, you might have 5 other teams fighting with you for it. As far as the rest of the division, Cap City and Moontown, I really don't know either of those teams that well, but I think Cap City is what's the GM's name?
That's Wakadu.
Yeah, I think he is a pretty good GM when he's focused and has time and is paying attention. If he gets distracted or busy with work and he doesn't put the time in, then his team slips. So, I mean, you tell me if he's going to be into it this year like he's capable of. I think he's even a potential playoff team. If he isn't, then he's probably third. Moontown seems to have struggled lately. I don't know. Is that their quarterback?
No, this is Capital City's quarterback.
Yeah, and this guy can play. So, I mean,
but he doesn't have receivers.
I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. I think Cap City can make it a 3-team race. If he's, like I said, I've heard, I don't know him, but everything I've heard from other people and other discussions, if he gets busy, if work gets crazy, he's not able to put the time in. If work's not crazy and he can put the time in, he's right there. He's competing.
Yeah, he's actually my older brother. Wakadu is, and I would say unequivocally he will be very busy this season, and I wouldn't count on his full attention.
Oh, well, then we'll pick him last.
I honestly, I picked Moontown last simply because it was my little homer pick to give him the edge over Moontown. But honestly, yeah, he'd probably come in last.
Well, I mean that's just what I've heard. Like I said, I don't know him. I know the name, but I don't really know him. But that's what I've always heard is if he's paying attention, he can be dangerous, and if he's not, well, then he's not.
Yep, very accurate.
But like I said, if you look at, we're going to go right from there to the next division and the one after that. And like I said, start adding up. You only get how many playoff spots?
6.
I mean, there's a lot more than 6 teams, aren't there? I mean,
yep.
We could make it. So, there's no lock. I think that obviously, I mean, I'm stating the obvious here, but, your best bet, take care of business, win the division. Then you're in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
guessing the wild cards will come out of the one each out of the North and the East.
Haynes with Outer Banks, his defense been off the charts. So I'm going to give them the division. And second, it's going to come down between Moontown and Texas, I think. Because if he can get his quarterback going, I'm talking about Moontown, he's got a wide receiver. And he's got a running back. So this is his team, his weapons.
So he's got the triplets.
So if he can get these guys going, what did he do last season with points? 278. Not good. But he almost gave up the same amount of points as Howie. So here's what I'm going to call. I'm going to call Capital City in last, Outer Banks in first. And then it's between Moontown and Texas. I would give it to this one to Howie. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to give it to Moontown because Howie's quarterback I don't think is going to play well on that front.
Well, Howie, if you're listening, Darrell Taylor's still available. It's not too late.
Yeah, I don't like Howie's quarterback, and here he is. I think he's going to hurt Howie.
I know I don't like that one timing.
Mm-hmm. So
his rush is awful low too. 23. That's the top 2 bars to me.
Yeah. So that's how I call it. Let me get this back up.
Maybe on to something there.
All right, we go to Grimm's division. Tough division this one is. We got Brooklyn, Chesapeake, Williamsburg, and Frederick. I'll go first on this one, and then we'll go around.
Hey, what about Slam?
Slam picked Outer Banks. He
Texas
picked
Kansas City. Okay,
yes.
I got it. I see the chat.
This one's a tough one. Wow. Let's look at this. Is this your quarterback, Grim?
Yes, unfortunately.
I like him.
You know, this motherfucker was the only quarterback on the roster, and he was fine. And then I signed that Owen Banks, who's no longer on the team, and he immediately goes to demanding trade. Like, he just assumed he was going to be the only quarterback on the roster. Is that much how fucking confidence he was that he was going to be the quarterback? I'm like, are you kidding me? So he's going to be my starter, and if he fails, Johnny Heath's going to get the nod at some point. I don't feel good about this year at all. I didn't get any of the fucking free agents I wanted. My draft, that linebacker ended up decent, but like I said in the last chat, I was worried about his endurance, and his endurance came in on the low side, and it's fucking bad. And my other two linebackers took a huge hit, so I'm not feeling good about this season at all.
I got to tell you, this is a tough one to call. All right, here it goes. I'm going with Brooklyn to take this division. Who took over Frederick, by the way?
Sox
Nation.
Sox Nation.
He's got to get himself acclimated, so I'm going to put him last until he can show. And then it's between you, Grim, and Quick. I'm going to give it to Quick.
I would too.
Because
he picked up some nice pieces.
Yeah. So it's Brooklyn, Quick, Grim, and Sock Nation.
So now let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What happens if RG Vecito doesn't land coffee, Grim does? How does that change things? I think a lot.
I would put Grim either taking the division or coming in second.
So one free agent move made that big a difference.
Oh, Christ, any of those guys. I mean, that wide receiver that Kodos eventually got, that tight end I went after, I can't remember who even got him. I mean, any of those three guys, and I'd feel better about my team.
I'm just going to say that you and I have talked many a times after free agency, and this happens to you all the time because you're cheap.
And so am I. I have the same problem.
Well, at some point, I decided not to go for that wide receiver anymore and just gave up on him and concentrated on the tight end and the the quarterback. And like I said, I wasn't too cheap on the quarterback. I only lost by $3 million on him. So, but alas, what do you do?
Well, I got to tell you, Frederick has a good roster. It's just that what's his name has to get used to his team and come up with a game plan. But he will be dangerous next season.
Yeah, I think so. He picked up he's got that Hugh Floyd at tight end, then 4 great wide receivers are decent, you know. So yeah, as soon as he gets acclimated, I'm sure he's going to be a pain in the ass again. I just don't see it happening right away this season. I mean, he could potentially go 8-8, you know, and still be at the bottom. So tied with me for 8-8 because I'm going to at least try to do that.
You know what, Joe? If this season goes south for Williamsburg, we do another show like mid-season or something. I don't know. Grim might set an online record for the amount of F-bombs dropped.
Don't I do that every show?
No, I'm talking if you're, let's say after 8 games, if you're 2-6.
Oh, don't say that.
It might get really bad.
Don't say that.
I'm rooting for you. I'm just
for
saying,
me to go 2-6.
No. I want you to do well. But if that would happen, I'd be shuddering at the thought. Do we really want to do a show, Joe? Maybe we should wait.
Well, Slam picked Chesapeake. Then he's got Williamsburg. Then he's got Brooklyn at third, and he's got Frederick last.
Well, he says the top 3 could go in any order. So
they could.
Yeah.
Slam, give us your division winner well, we know the last place one, but out of the 3, who do you really think can take it between Chesapeake, Williamsburg, and Brooklyn? Slam. Quick's roster is off the charts.
Yes, that defense is fucking pure madness.
Yeah.
That's why I was bitching in the forums about him getting Camilleri or whatever that defensive end's name is.
Oh, you saw that, huh?
Yeah. I was pretty much like, hey, thanks to everyone out of my division that didn't see this guy. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Yep. Give him that guy and then add that to his chemistry. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't afford him anyway.
No, I couldn't have either.
No, me either.
Okay, who's up next?
Chris.
Chris,
His, right?
Oh, here he goes. He thinks Brooklyn slips it a little. Okay. Chesapeake, and then he thinks Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to agree with him there. I think Chesapeake's gonna take it. Brooklyn will be right behind them. Williamsburg, and then Frederick. I'm guessing Chesapeake will end up 12-4. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn and Williamsburg both ended up 11-6 or 11-5, and then Frederick probably going to be right around that 6-10 range again. I'm guessing.
Red zone.
I tend to agree with Chris. Chesapeake, this could be a bowl year for them. I mean, that's a solid roster top to bottom, and you add in his chemistry, he's going to be hard to beat. I never count Grimm out. That QB could turn out to be really good for all we know. At the end of the year, he's laughing at all of us. And I don't think Brooklyn's going to totally go away, but they are going to slip a little bit. So, I mean, I kind of see it the same way. Frederick, just like you said, I mean, Sox Nation, I know him from other leagues. He's a pretty solid GM. He knows what he's doing, but it's his first year. He doesn't really know the team yet. And IHOF is a different animal. There's a sim every day, and you got to be on your game. I don't know that he's going to walk in the door and say, okay, it's time for me to win the division, boys. Just get out of the way. I don't think that'll happen season one. I would say Chesapeake is a scary team. If you look up and down the whole conference, you had to pick a bowl representative right now, I think I'd pick Quick.
I got to tell you, I've been looking at all the roster players on this division, and everyone in this division has a solid roster. So, Grim, you have a lot of work in front of you. Sucks being in that division.
Yeah, because even though yours is solid, you don't have any easy ones.
I think Grim always gets screwed up. He always gets that tie, if you notice.
Every season.
Every season.
That tie helped him last season. Got him in front of Oakland.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So, next up, NC West. Slam, you want to give us this one? All right. You know what? C-Max, you can go first, and then Slam will probably chime in.
Oh, shit.
I know. Okay. You know what?
I'm not ready.
I'll give you time. Let's see. Let's see who's quarterback. I'm shocked, by the way, Colorado went this far with his quarterback. He's got Oakland, he's got Colorado, Hanalei, and Fairbanks. Let's see, Oakland, Jugs. He's going with Quinn.
Yeah, but his quarterback, well, wait a minute. That's out of Banks.
That's out of Banks.
Yeah. I was going to say, Oakland's quarterback isn't really,
nope,
that big a factor. I mean, he's going to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if you look at Oakland's quarterback, that's what I'm hoping my guy does.
How many points did he put up last season? He put up 340. His defense was much better. I might give this to also Jugs. Um, Fairbanks. Who's his? Oh, he's got a rookie. Yes, so he's going to be last. Until you get this guy developed. So Fairbanks will be last, and I'm gonna say Jugs Oakland. Oakland will take first place, and 10-6, 11-5 for Jugs. Colorado second. That's my take on that.
I'm going to take Oakland, Colorado, Hanalei, and then Fairbanks again.
Just like last year. Yeah.
Yep. Well, a little different. Oakland on top.
Oh,
I
that's
think
right.
I think Jugs comes back. But I'm gonna grab some coffee quick. Be right back.
Do you think?
Yeah, and I'm going to probably have to say Oakland will take the top spot, but maybe just barely. I honestly think Hanalei, even if he's not paying attention with that roster he's got, he may actually, battle for the title in the division. I think Colorado will take a step back. Fairbanks will probably stick where they're at. So yeah, I'd say Oakland probably takes the division at 11-5 with Hanalei right behind him at 10-6, and then Colorado, in that 8-8 range. Fairbanks probably 6-10 again.
Colorado has a good defense. He picked up a nice cornerback too. Okay.
It's true. I hate his quarterback.
What's that?
I hate his quarterback though.
Yeah.
I don't know, 5'10". Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like this guy either.
You got a lot out of him.
He did. I mean, he didn't play horrible for a 5'10" quarterback, but I mean,
Well, his
Still-
numbers aren't off the charts, but I mean, 345 completions. That's doing something.
Hmm.
yeah, but that 5.97 average, 77 rating. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think I mean it's not a horrible season, but I think that's the best you can hope for out of a 5'10" quarterback.
I think Red Zone, you can give him a call.
Oh,
Taylor.
hey,
I tried to trade for Taylor. I don't know why you didn't trade with me.
well, I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you the same thing. I basically said this to anybody that asked, and there was only 3 people that asked. I'm trying to remember who the third was, and I don't without checking. Maybe it's one of my PMs, but Swain Dog asked about him, and you asked about him. I thought there was one other, and I thought, you know what? For a 5th round pick, he can sit here and be my backup this season. I'm not going to get anything in round 5 in any draft that's going to make it worth me making any kind of a deal. I wanted a 4th.
Oh, it makes sense.
And if I'm not going to get a 4th, then there's no point in me handing you a guy that you can still extend and use next year or in the second half of this year as your starter, and in your case, in my own division, and beating me with. I thought,
Makes sense.
that just doesn't, wait till he's a free agent and then put your bonus money out there and bid on him. He's not re-signing cheaply. I know that's a problem, but I mean, when you look at what I'm paying Witten and what he would cost you, 20 or 25 million a year is not the same as 50 or 55. So, is he, one of the best QBs in the league? No, he's not. But he made the Pro Bowl last year. He played that well for me. I still say a lot of that has to do with that big last game that didn't mean anything when we put 52 points up, in week 17, which was meaningless. I thought that was hilarious. Let's pad our stats here a little bit, make sure everybody thinks we had a great season. You didn't. You lost a bunch of 3 and 4 point games. But I just didn't see a point in giving him away. And I don't draft that well in round 5, 6, 7. I just don't see a whole lot of value there. And I even put in my trade block, if you don't want to give me a draft pick, that's fine. Give me a linebacker then. And nobody replied.
Makes sense. I missed that.
So we're all pretty much consensus on the South.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
I
So
think that's
now
what it was.
AC North. We got Toronto, North Plainfield, Harlem, and Rochester. Another solid division. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, I'm not counting Kodos out this time, so I'm calling him as the winner of that division. I made the mistake last time. He did get that wide receiver Damian Lorenzo that I wanted. He got that Garrett Pearson guy who I didn't even look for. I think I forgot to even log in that day on Friday night and get the midweek. I mean, he's building up the O-line. So, yeah, I'm calling Toronto. And then, XCOM, God, I counted out Cert last year, too. Mm-hmm. I'll take XCOM second, North Plainfield third, with the potential that all three could make the playoffs. And I actually think BG Bob's going to maybe take a step back after getting rid of Witten. That's going to take a cohesion hit there. And Edward Corte, his wide receiver, looks like he's going a little bit down in ratings. So that's how I'm going to call that. I'm going to go Toronto, Harlem, North Plainfield, and then Rochester.
See, Max?
Yeah, I honestly think I gotta go with that. I like North Plainfield. Tell you, look at the receivers. He's got this roster full of receivers with like zero route running.
That's a problem.
All of them. It's just, he's got one guy that's not just garbage route runner. So I think that's going to hurt him. I think he's going to take a step back. So yeah, Toronto I think is going to take the division. Livingston's great, obviously. So I think they're probably 12-4 again. Then I think Harlem's going to be coming up in second, probably still at 10-6. I'm thinking North Plainfield's going to fall back, into that 9-7 range, and Rochester I think is going to fall back too. They'll probably be 5-11. I'm guessing it's going to be a tough season for him. I think
he's going with Benson, Red Zone's QB.
Yep. So that's a pretty giant cohesion hit there on the passing game. So,
and he's got no timing, so I think it's going to be garbage.
I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
Slam calls out Toronto, Harlem, North Plainfield, and Rochester. Seems like everyone's calling the same.
Well, I'm going to say something here. I think it's kind of like stating the obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway. As long as Kodos hasn't stepped down as the GM at Toronto, and the quarterback Livingston, as long as he hasn't retired,
mm-hmm.
I think they're going to probably win that division because Kodos will put enough around him to get out of the division just about any season. I think that's that strong a combo. If Kodos would leave or if Livingston retires, well, then we can revisit things. But, I just think Livingston's that good and Kodos is smart enough to put enough around him, to be competitive and win the division. Or at the very least to be a playoff team.
Livingston's only 29, so we still got potentially 8 seasons left of him.
Yeah, so he's not going anywhere for a while. Okay?
No.
After that, Harlem's built a really nice team. I really like what he's done. And North Plainfield is always impossible to play. Defensively, they can shut you down. His defenses are great every season. So they're going to be battling for second place. I'm going to say, just based on what I just heard about the receivers with the route running for North Plainfield, I'll give Harlem the edge, but I don't think it'll be by much. And I agree with what's been said about Rochester. BG Bob is a good GM. He's going to draft well. He's got a couple extra first-rounders now. But until he gets those picks on his roster and gets a QB other than Benson that has some timing, he could take a step back. He was right there. He was about ready to make a move. But apparently he wasn't ready to invest long-term in Witten. For whatever reason, I sure was. It was a deal we were both happy with. I think he's looking more towards the future, though, not this season.
Yeah, Harlem's roster is just freaking stacked.
He is, and that's why
Goddamn.
I'm picking him to win the division, Harlem.
Ooh.
So I'm taking Harlem to win the division at 12-4. Toronto and North Plainfield coming in at 11-5 or 10-6. And Rochester coming in last. And that's how I see it. What's his name? Harlem. He put together XCon. He put together a solid roster.
Oh, it's beautiful, especially on the back end there on defense.
Look at that.
That's just insane.
And his defense didn't do so bad last season. So they all had good defense except for Rochester. But I think he's going to take that step and win 2 extra games. Harlem. So that's the call of mine. Okay. AC South.
Interesting division here.
I know. Now we have Slam and C-Max that are part of this division. So we'll go first, Red Zone, myself, and Grim, and then we'll let Slam and C-Max go later. Okay, Red Zone, you want to take this one first?
Sure. Last year it was Atlanta and Houston fighting it out, and that's Atlanta is Swing Dog, correct?
That's correct.
Yep.
Houston is Kargot, K. Argot. That's probably what you're going to see again. I think Chris is going to take a step forward, another couple of wins, and get closer to that 8-8 mark. I don't know if he's ready to be a playoff team yet. The Fort Wayne, with the new QB, I mean, could he make some noise? Sure. Right off the bat, do I think he will? I don't know.
Cushman?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be very good. Is he going to be very good as a rookie? Tough call. He does have some players to throw to. I mean, there is talent on the roster. It's not like he's, what is he, 60%? I can barely read that. 60 or 65% developed?
65%.
I mean, it's not like he's 28% developed. I mean, could he go out and play well? Sure, he could. My experience is rookie QBs tend to struggle. You know, at least they're going to struggle in the big games when it's time to try and win a division or get to a playoff spot. That could put Fort Wayne maybe in third place if Chris struggles, but I don't know that those two teams are going to be fighting. I think it's still going to be Houston and Atlanta. I honestly think Houston is the better defensive squad of the two, and I think that will be the difference. I'm going to pick Houston first, then Atlanta, San Antonio, and then Fort Wayne.
Grim?
You know, I'm going to well, Chris never has faith in his fucking team, so I can't keep picking him to win. So I'm going to pick Atlanta to go on that just because he's got such great cohesion with Harold Norris in there. And then he's got Rick Copeland for running back, who's just a great back. Still got his good wide receivers. You know, solid D. Just, yeah. So I think Kevin's going to pull that one off with Atlanta. Then I'll think Chris for second place. San Antonio will be second. I'm not sold on Tyrus Dennis yet. His second season. I mean, he didn't play awful in the first season, but maybe he could take a step back. So I'll pick Houston third, and then Fort Wayne. I got to go last, as we know Slam's building his team up here, and I think they'll be good in the future, near future. But yeah, guess we'll see. But yeah, that's how I'm calling that.
Yes, I'm going to call Atlanta as well with Swing Dog. The reason why I didn't call San Antonio, which I would see Max, I don't like your quarterback.
I don't either.
If he had a different quarterback, like if he had Taylor or somebody, I would say C-Max taking this division.
I don't know. All I'll say is that Shea's going to have a very short leash, and I just traded for that Skip Granados, who was the number one yardage quarterback in the league last season. So I mean, he's not a scrub,
right?
So he might end up leading the team, 3-4 games in, depending on how Shea performs.
So this is what I'm going to call. I'm going to call Atlanta to take the division, and I would have you see Max as second because Houston's quarterback hasn't been developed all the way yet. But I think actually Fort Wayne is going to come in third because his quarterback is 65% developed. I think by week 5, he's going to start playing better. So I'm not going to count him out. I think he's going to take, so it's going to be Atlanta, San Antonio, Fort Wayne, Houston. But Houston and Fort Wayne are going to be close with their score, their record. Where I think maybe an 8-8 or a 7-9 record. So that's what I'm calling on that one. Now we head to AC East.
Oh, Chris still has to pick his, and Slam still got to say his chat.
Oh, he does. That's right.
Yeah, we're going to put those guys last. Oh, Slam's up.
Slam says Atlanta. He's got C-Max next. He's got Houston, and he's got himself last. Oh, he's got himself pushing at 7-9. So he's thinking the same as I'm thinking. Houston and him at 7-9.
All right.
Yeah, I honestly think the division's going to be very tight, with every team between 9 and 7 and maybe 6 and 10. I like Houston. I know you guys aren't sold on the quarterback yet, but he's got a really stout defense.
That's what I thought.
And I think his quarterback's going to be good. I think he ends up taking the division, 9 and 7, maybe 10 and 6, but probably 9 and 7. And then I think Atlanta and us. Yeah, and honestly, maybe yeah. I'm gonna pick myself second at 8-8. I think Atlanta will be 8-8 also, though, and then Fort Wayne's probably 7-9. It's going to be really tight, but I think Houston's the best overall team right now.
Okay. That was a surprise.
And I don't think any of us have a chance to go in the bowl.
We'll head to now the AC East. You got Tucker, Augusta, Orlando, Snap Fingers. I'll shoot first.
I think we all know who number 1 is.
Oh, Snapfinger?
No, sir.
Oh,
No, sir.
You mean I'm incorrect? Jeez.
You're incorrect, sir.
So, yeah, Tucker's going to take this one. Orlando, I'm not familiar with his team. Is this his... isn't this a quarterback that was in Arizona? Yes. Don't like him.
Yeah.
Don't like him at all. If he's going to go with him, I then will...
I think he's going with Colin Shelton, to be honest.
I couldn't figure that out either, why he picked him up. That was a big part of Mac's problem with that QB.
Well, he hasn't gotten them going in the years he's been there. Well, actually 1 year. It's only 1 year. So Tucker, I'm gonna go with Augusta. I'm gonna go Snapfinger third.
And Orlando fourth.
And Orlando fourth. So Tucker, Augusta, Snapfinger, Orlando.
So you're kicking top tally out the club, huh?
Yep.
Right to the basement with you, sir.
Turning your T-shirt at the door on your way out.
Red Zone, you want to take this one?
I think I see it pretty similar to you, Tucker, Augusta. I think Snapfinger and Orlando just – I think the fact that he picked up Lastanza, that shows he doesn't have any faith in the other guy. he's a pretty good GM, but I think in some ways he's a little similar to me. If he's got a decent QB, he's a lot more dangerous. When he doesn't have one, he struggles, and that's kind of been true of me. I mean, the seasons that we've done well, the QB played well, and when I got rid of what was his name, Brady Spencer, that might have been one of the dumber moves I made. I tried to get younger and paid him and some picks to get Rhodes, and Rhodes kind of shit the bed, and everything from there has been a struggle since to find a decent replacement. I probably should have rode Brady Spencer all the way till he retired. I mean, he actually came in here right off the street and played well for us. And that kind of looks to me like what Orlando is doing. He's struggling to find that guy that he can use for 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 seasons. And he hasn't yet. And if he's double clutching enough to be worried about the guy he has to go bringing in Lastanza, yeah, I'm a little worried about him.
Well, I forgot.
It's a long year.
Is he going with Banks, by the way? Sweendog, his rookie quarterback?
I mean, Brian Sawblade?
Yes.
Lester? I would. Put him right in there.
So then I have to take this back.
Oh, I think he's still going to finish second. He'll be smart enough to game plan around the fact that he's a rookie. He won't put a lot of pressure on him.
I think Snapfingers will take second. I think he'll drop to third then.
Yeah.
That's my call.
Maybe, but that's not the call I'm going to make. I'm still going to pick him second. I think Tucker, Augusta, Snapfinger, Orlando.
Why does he have red crosses on his players?
He's got some influenza that happened in the last game of the preseason.
I thought there's no injuries in preseason.
There's not, but that's one that Ben was talking about a couple of years ago. That's one crazy one that can just kind of slip in there.
So Slam's calling Tucker, Augusta, Orlando, and Snapfinger for last.
And I'm going to go with Tucker. I think he'll end up 13-3 again. I still like Orlando. I think they're actually going to take second in that 9-7 range. Augusta, I think if he does start Banks, he'll drop back a game or two, but probably 8-8. And then Snapfinger, I think, is going to be better, but I still think they're going to be at the bottom, probably 6-10-ish for another season.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say too. Tucker is the obvious. Orlando, they've just kind of been on the cusp. I think for the last, let me just look here quick. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of pulling the jobs. You know, they went 8-8, 9-7, 8-8, 10-6, 7-9. I think he can take another step forward this year. I would take Augusta, but again, rookie. I know he's, the rookie quarterback's not going to have to do a whole lot. But I just think him being a rookie, he's going to take a minor step back, let Orlando take second. And then, Sepher, Snapfinger, they'll be last.
No, Orlando does have a good defense. Solid players. All right.
Yep. I think he just needs a game or two more to get over that hump.
Mm. But I agree with what Red Zone was saying. I think he doesn't know which quarterback he wants to go with. So that might mess up his game planning for Orlando.
The only knock on Shelton is that he's 5'10", and you know how I feel about those guys. So
when you think you have two QBs, that really means you don't have any.
Yes. Yeah, right? Okay. AC West. C-Max, I'll let you take this one.
Well, I like Mass Lewis. I'm not enamored with the running game at all, but they got decent receivers, decent offensive line. But Gothenburg, I think, is just the better team. Who did they get there? What are these? How are they sitting at running back though? Yeah, no, I don't think much changes this year for them. I think Gothenburg takes the win. Probably going to be that 11-5. Mass Lewis, yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much a repeat of last year. Gothenburg, Mass Lewis, Paris, and Bordeaux. I don't think any of them did anything significant enough to really shake it up that much. I think Mass Lewis needs too much on defense to take the division. So yeah, Gothenburg 10-6, Mass Lewis 9-7. Paris, I think, probably gonna be around the same. Now they got what did they do at quarterback there? Didn't they shake it up there? Oh yeah, actually, yeah, maybe Bordeaux I'll take before Paris. Not like in Paris's quarterback situation at all.
Looks like he needs to get a mentor up in there. He's got 2 first-year guys.
Yeah. Neither one of them should be starting this year, as far as I'm concerned.
And who? Who are we speaking of?
Paris. He doesn't really have anything running back.
Oh, these are wide quarterbacks. Oof.
Yeah. No, I think Paris might be lucky to get a win this year.
Wow.
Yeah, Gothenburg, Mass Lewis, Bordeaux, and Paris.
But he's got the rest of his roster on Paris. He's got the pieces together on defense. He's just got to get that offense going.
Yeah, I mean he's a couple of big free agent signings or a couple of high draft pick, a good running back and a good receiver or two, and I mean he'd be super competitive, I think. But with those quarterbacks that he's got right now,
Hey Joe, can you pull up team schedules and put up Mass Luis's schedule from last season?
Last season?
Yes.
You mean this right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
When he was on the last show, I think he said he had some injuries, and they hit right when he started into that skid. But even in that skid, let me pull mine back up. I can read it better. He lost 10-3 to Bordeaux. That's a touchdown. He lost 17-10 to Oakland. That's a touchdown. He lost 24-21 to Harlem. That's a field goal. Any of those 3 games, he wins. It's a whole different ball game for his team, and that's with the injuries. So I don't think he's going to have those injuries again. At least you would hope he wouldn't. At least not as many of them. I think it was 2 or 3 players. He said, and if he's that close without those players being hurt, I like his chances this year. I think he could overtake Julio, and I know that's saying a lot because I think Julio is a great GM. But I think Matt's been building a team, and I think he's a team that's still on the rise, and he hasn't finished yet. I'm going to pick Mass Luis, then Gothenburg. Well, I can't read that. Let me go back to my standings. Yeah, then Bordeaux, then Paris. I mean, Paris, I think, is stockpiling picks and young players and looking to the future. But I mean, like Chris said, this season, yeah, it might be tough. Maybe 1 or 2, but he won't be 8-8. He won't be 9-7. He's not a playoff team for sure. Bordeaux will be in the hunt, but I just think he's just 1 step below Gothenburg and Mass Luis. But I'm picking Matt. I don't want to jinx you, Matt, but that's what I'm saying.
Slam says that Paris likes Knight over Mayers.
Yep.
Mayers.
Mayes. Yep. Picks Gothenburg, Mass Lewis, Bordeaux, and then Paris.
So, yeah.
And he says Paris is going to challenge for the number. That's like ripping on your brother, man.
So he's got Gothenburg, he's got Matt, Bordeaux, Paris. I'm going to choose, I like what, what's his name has done, Julio with Gutenberg. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with him. I'm definitely going to go with Merchant Man second. Bordeaux definitely third, and Paris last.
Yeah, I want to call Mass Lewis, but I've done that the last couple of seasons, and and he's just letting me down. So yeah, I'm gonna go Gothenburg, Mess Lewis, Bordeaux, and then Paris. I like to see what Elf can get out of Freeman, though.
That's right. He's got your quarterback.
Yep.
He's got a good roster. Look at his roster.
Yeah.
Bordeaux. I'm shocked that he's down at 5-11.
Gothenburg's got a really strong roster too.
Yep.
And I'm not really enamored with the merchant men. I mean, I know he's got, he does a great job with what he's got, but when you look at the actual overall, I'm not really sold on the merchant man roster.
Yeah, Gothenburg he's like Harlem to me. His roster, solid.
Use some help on the skill positions, but
what did he say? I'll be right back. He was saying, okay. Yeah, but going back to Bordeaux, good roster as well.
yeah, solid.
I can see him causing havoc.
Look at the week 1 slate of games.
Sure.
Bunch of them. Arizona and Iowa. Right away, we're going to see who's going to be third and who's going to be fourth. Chesapeake and Brooklyn head-to-head opening day. You and me head-to-head opening day. Annaland, Oakland. Harlem and North Plainfield. I mean, Mass Louise and Gothenburg right out the gate. Outer Banks in Texas. Chris plays Atlanta. Tucker plays Snapfinger. And Grimm has to play Frederick.
Slam says Houston's going down.
Tell Slam he's got a great attitude. I like that.
He's going to body slam him. Yes, it's going to be a good one. You got a 16-point lead over me.
I cannot figure
awful.
that out. How can that be?
I don't know, but it's not good for me.
I think that shows you just how little the game knows.
Look at Harlem North Plainfield. Good grief.
Harlem North.
20-point favorites at North Plainfield. So what would the game be if it was in Harlem? Like 24 points?
And Frederick and Williamsburg. Frederick has 11 point. Wow.
I mean, if you're a betting man, you're taking Harlem and Chicago and trying to get the parlay, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, right? Wow. I don't think they'll cover the spread.
No, I don't either.
Oh, so what do you guys think of the 2 top quarterbacks, by the way? After
I like Cushman. I mean, I like them both, but I think Cushman's a great quarterback. He's gonna be just fine.
and the other one was who got him? Pick number 1.
Sawblade.
That's right, Sawblade. Here we go. Here we go. I know someone said Ryan Leaf was one of them.
Not this time.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think they're both going to be Peyton Mannings.
So Slam's saying he's happy with Cush.
Yeah, he should be.
Nothing to complain about there.
There's nothing wrong with that guy. I mean, he's only the second best QB in the draft. You poor baby.
That guy would be a consensus 1.1 almost every draft that we've had in the last decade, other than maybe the Livingston draft. But
like I said, if he's only the second best QB, that's terrible. You know, when you're done with him, give me a call. I'll take him off your hands.
yeah, no, right? I mean,
And Cushman's got kick holding. That kick holding is going to be massive. Whereas Banks cannot kick hold.
A lot of fake field goals, huh?
Another
I
good,
don't know. I think they're both great. I think they're both going to be great.
really quick. Another good pick was Julio did. He got that wide receiver. That's
Yeah,
fun.
he turned out. He really turned out, didn't he?
No, MIJB should have drafted that guy. He said he wanted to. It's like Telling you, I would have taken that his old wide receiver that's not really in the game plan for a couple first, and then he could have just drafted this guy and bada bing, bada boom. He just replenished his receiving, But that's a beautiful pick for 119, man. I was so hoping he'd fall just a few more.
You would have taken him, Grim?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If I wasn't sitting on the 2 wide receivers already and have the huge need at cornerback, I'd have taken him.
Yeah.
I almost wish I would have now because he's better than both my guys.
He popped in preseason too, I believe.
So we were talking about that last show. What was it? There was a safety that we were sure that you were moving to corner. Did he move to corner?
Oh yeah, he moved to corner and he still sucks.
Yeah, he didn't end
It
up.
was a terrible pick. I forgot that I switched offensive coordinators and my scouting was not something to be relied on. What I saw in the conscriptor versus what he looks like in the Ben's draft room as it goes, and he looked better to me than that by a long shot. But yeah, no, he sucks. Braxton Collins turned out fine.
Okay.
The other guy.
This one? No, he's undrafted.
Braxton Collins.
Not Collins.
Flynn?
Oh, yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, Flynn.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he looked like shit to begin with, but he got worse after PS2. Yeah, no, he's a terrible pick. I mean, that guy Slagle looks like he's going to be a better guy, and I got him undrafted. So, at least as a cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, there was no chance I was going to use him as a safety, but now there's really not much chance I'm going to use him as a cornerback.
Any one of your guys pop? Of any of you guys, red zone? Did you have anyone that popped in a positive way?
I'm pretty happy with the tackle I took. I don't know that he popped, but he stayed and he looked steady. Left tackle Roy Wilkerson. He jumped a little, but I mean, I would have been okay if he was mid-50s future. I'm seeing 62.
Yeah, he looks good.
So, I mean, that's what I needed. My left tackle retired, and I'd run him into the ground. And last season, we picked up a guy that plays right tackle, and he did pretty well as a rookie, Trevor Edwards. So now I have my tackles, hopefully for quite a while. One's second year, one's a rookie. I got a third-year guard, Kelly. And I brought in Stan Rao as a free agent. I think he'll play right guard and do fairly well with that run block. So my center's maybe getting up there, so he'd be the next guy, and eventually I'll need a guard. But I still have Bernie Tatum, who could play right guard if I had to. He's got a decent run block, too. He can play right guard. So, I mean, our line is steady. They may not be spectacular, but they're going to be steady. And McIntyre, he does pretty well. So, I mean, I was happy, though. Wilkerson, that's what I needed, and that's what I got.
Oh, good. I'll send Morrison after him to get to your quarterback.
Okay. Sure.
How about you, Grim? Anyone pop or tank?
No, with the head down there. Just pull up my right tackle, Jim Sink.
I looked at him. I liked him.
Jim Sink. Okay, got him. Ooh.
We really needed a right tackle, and he just popped for us for a second-round pick, 22 overall. I mean, yep. Jesus. So, and he's affinity, so that's good.
My problem with him was he was so big, and he was definitely a right tackle, not a left, and I already had a right tackle, but I liked him. Definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, your left tackle, Bob, he's 6'5", 300 and something pounds.
Is he 324 though?
I think he was heavier.
Let's see. I'll pull him up. Your left tackle was. Okay, here we go.
333 is heavy.
So he is bigger. That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about? Your guy's bigger than my guy.
And honestly, if I had to pick a guy that popped, it'd be my second round tackle that I grabbed up, that Vincent Hodges.
Let's take a look at him. Vincent Hodges.
We all got some tackles this year.
Yep. Yeah, I liked him too. He's a big guy, 6'7". Jack Clay, go back and pull up my linebacker I got this year. Because he's going to play, but again, just so disappointed that he was on the low end.
What's his name? I got him right here.
Yep, Edgar Red.
Let's leave him here.
So he's going to be okay, but man, 19 endurance. That means he can play 113 regular and long, and that's about it. Maybe the dime package as well.
Did you see his endurance bigger when you were drafting?
Yeah, I didn't. I talked about that last show. It had the potential to be like a 56 at its highest, according to my scouts, and that was my only worry with that guy. And then that Warren Carpenter quarterback I got, he looks like he's going to be okay. Cornerback. Warren Carpenter. So I think he's going to be solid for me for some years.
Yeah, he's nice.
Basically, I'm only using, man for my cornerbacks basically. So he's going to be good.
Yeah.
Outside of that, my main linebackers kind of took a hit, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't feel strongly about the season, but we'll see. I mean, I managed to pull shit off.
You always say that every season.
Mm-hmm. Last season, I thought I was going to be 8-8. The year before that, I thought I was going to be 8-8. This year, I kind of think we're going to be around the 6-10 range and take a stumble, but I guess we'll see what
we
happens.
win in the bowl this year. Golden horseshoe up his butt.
True that.
Oh, Slam was saying that Chapman for him, he's going to move him to safety. Let's see him. Oh, he moved him to safety. Okay. So I guess you drafted him as a
zone. I'd like the zone to be a bit higher for a strong safety, but
now my scouts for defense are awful. My scouts for offense are much better. So it can be, if you guys look at your game and you're a scout, he might look better for you guys.
And I think looking at him, for a 4th round pick, he looks real nice, and I honestly like him as a cornerback more than a safety, just because he's got a better man-to-man defense and not much zone.
Right.
But for a 4th round pick, that's quality.
The only thing that might help him is that interception bar. But if he's going to do that, I almost would think maybe don't play him at strong, put him back at free, and use the bar back there if you're going to get the interceptions. You're going to get more interceptions from your free safety than your strong. But with his run defense and his size, you want to use him at strong safety. That zone bar is going to hurt him a little bit. It depends.
Yeah. I'd maybe use him as my nickel back and playing in that slot there. I mean, he'd be able to get some tackles for you and
you could do that.
Cover. He could do a little bit of zone, a little bit of man. Yeah, that'd be where I'd use him.
He's got really solid combines too, so I could see him popping up yet in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what did he start out at before? If you click on the actual bars there. He's already popped a bit. Nice.
He went 22 to 30.
Hey, he went up by 10.
Interceptions 50 to 56.
Yeah.
He went +7, +10. So
yeah, and he's got those nice combines. He might be a guy that could still go up another season or two. He might end up in the 52, 53 range.
Let's put it this way: if that zone pops again, even a little, say it goes another 8 points to 38, that's almost 40. 40 zone you can work with a strong safety. It's not great.
Yep.
You could probably make that work.
Yeah, for sure.
My guys, I did well offensive linemen. All my offensive linemen I chose went up in value. And so the guy I took, I picked up this guy in the 4th.
Nice. Look at that guy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He was underrated. I saw him, so I moved up and I grabbed him.
Damn. Yeah, that's nice.
He went up for me.
And that intelligence, I mean, to get somebody like that late too, that's beautiful.
I was shocked that he was still there, actually, because I only had one 1st round pick, and then I didn't have any picks until the 4th round. After that,
maximizing your value, that's for sure.
No, and that's a oh, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, he's just got
that's a milk cow pick.
Great size and weight too. 6'4", 305. That's about perfect for a left guard.
Then I picked up these guys as backups.
I like him too.
Yeah, that guy's well, I wouldn't maybe start him at center, but you may move him to left guard.
Mm-hmm.
He's a starter at left guard for me.
I don't like under 300 pounds for guards. But
Yeah, but you might be able to get
it
that kind of bulk up a little bit. But even if not, I don't mind at left guard.
And there's another guy who I liked as well.
Kramer's intelligence isn't bad for being a yellow guy either. So, yeah, see, look at him. Pass block supreme.
Yep.
And you pass a lot. So that's
A little
that's a great
underweight
find.
again, but still okay at left guard, I think.
And they all jumped on their on their thing. The highest was Dave. Dave jumped the most. He jumped 10 points.
Nice.
Is there an intruder in the house?
Somebody's got to die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm killing him, Dad.
Whose dog? That was it for me. I mostly went after offensive players, and this was but I'm not happy with him.
I like him.
You do?
Yeah, punishing hitter in that super
Oh,
high
yeah.
run defense. That's all you need for a defensive tackle is that run defense.
He
I don't know.
worries me.
As a first round pick,
Yeah.
it would be disappointing. But honestly, that's the kind of guy I try to pack my defensive line with. I mean, it sucks that you paid a first round pick for him. I think he's a late second, third, early third type guy. But
I
agree.
didn't.
I think he's going to be really good for you.
I didn't see that he was the first round pick, but yeah, I wouldn't like him there either, Clay. But for me, that's a guy I would have on my team. I'd like to get him in the second or third though, and then endurance is real low as well. So yeah, I can see where you're. I
don't mind the endurance on the D line though, because you pretty much got to have seven guys on your D line no matter what that are active. So if they all have that kind of endurance bar, you can still mix and match enough to get them all get them all in there without any issues with their stamina.
I was hoping that with his punishing hit that his bars would have shot up more on PS2.
And he might still do that next season or the season after. I mean, sometimes it takes 2-3 seasons to pop.
I see him being a big run stuffer in the near future for you.
Slam was saying that he was hoping that he dropped to the second round to him.
Yep, I'd have taken him in the second round.
All right, fellas. Do you have anything else you want to add? I think we covered everything.
Ooh, I got something for Grim. Hang on.
Okay. What do you got?
I'm gonna find it again. Let me see if I can just click on it and it'll play.
Little Barry White. Love Barry White, man.
Ain't get enough of your little babe.
That's
How
that
did you know?
commercial. That's that commercial you were busting my chops about. I figured I'd send it right back at you, pal.
Oh, hold on. Slam
I like
was saying
fajitas.
something.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I like
take a
fajitas,
fajita.
too.
I take a fajita over a
Except
margarita.
we were talking
any
about
day.
margaritas.
I was looking for one with margaritas. They didn't have one. I said, well, I'll use this one.
Slam was saying, good show. Hopefully, you can figure out his mic next time.
Figure that shit out.
Slam, we said we're going to send you one for Christmas.
Yeah, we're gonna chip in.
Christmas is a long ways away, man.
We'll do an early one then.
I mean, honestly, the one I'm using right now, I think I paid $30 for on Amazon, and it's fucking works great. So
Yeah, they're not that really that expensive.
Yeah, I got a Walmart PS4 headset I'm using. I think it cost me $19. It's been fine.
Are you plugged in, Slam? Are you plugged into a laptop or are you a CPU? Your desktop, I meant. That's
PC.
PC, yeah.
That could just be sad.
yeah, because I know when I log into Zoom, I get in Zoom first, and then I plug in my headset, and then it asks me, "What are you using?" So I'm like, "Mic with headset." Click on that, and I'm usually good to go. But I do not plug in my headphones until after I'm logged into Zoom.
Slam, does the PC have a mic? Because like my laptop does not have a camera, but it has the mic.
Okay, so he just thinks it's user error. Yeah, no mic on the PC.
That's okay. Thanks for coming along, at least, Slam.
Yeah,
and
we're
giving us
glad
your
to hear
input.
Yeah, glad to even have you in chat, brother.
Yep.
But we'll get
Sure.
to hear your voice next time, and then you can curse us all out.
And if you try to log into Zoom like 5-10 minutes before the thing starts, it'll put you in a queue, and then it'll give you the ability to gives you the option to test your audio settings, and you can test your mic volume and all
Right.
that. Might be able to figure it out in there.
Southern accent. Where are you from?
I think he said Louisiana. Was that right? That he in the form?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there it is.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, good memory.
It's hot down there. Nice.
All right, guys. It was fun. Too bad Howie couldn't make it, but we'll post this up later and everyone can hear it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes,
Great
it
time
is.
as always.
Now that's
John.
hot. Hotter than a goat's ass in a pepper patch.
And
I've never heard that term before. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Me either, but that sounds pretty hot.
Yeah, we actually
That's
had
hot.
a really, really, really beautiful weekend here this weekend, in Minnesota. So,
Yeah, I actually finally got outside and cut up all those damn trees that were falling.
oh God, last weekend it was so fucking hot down there when I was
Yeah.
down there. Holy shit.
No, yeah, nothing but ball soup.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a good weekend. Here too in New York.
Nice.
Very nice. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Ugh.
Agreed.
100 and humid, I suppose.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's no humidity. It's all swamps.
Ugh. Yeah, I'll pass. I'll come in January.
All right, let's see how you guys do tomorrow. And Red Zone, I hope you get killed tomorrow by my team.
Are you playing them?
Yes, I am.
What did they say in the longest yard? I want a 21-point spread, and I want you to inflict as much pain as possible.
Well, I tell you what, if I can beat Frederick at their place tomorrow, I'm going to feel a lot better about my season. If I lose, especially by a wide margin, I'm just going to be like, fuck me. So,
Remember,
Yeah.
the first game of the week is Enigma.
yeah, no, it's you really, yeah, I think you're right, Clay. There's really, you can't really game plan against them because you haven't seen what they're doing. I mean, you can go dig through logs in the preseason if you want to, but
Or
Gross.
or you can look through last year's stuff, but again, that all could be,
why?
could be
This
a
is
totally
a new,
different playbook.
yeah, this is a new GM for me, so that's why
Oh,
I'm like, I
sure.
don't know what to expect from this guy. It looks like he runs a lot more than Eli did, so I kind of tried to plan for that a little bit, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Luck, gentlemen.
Yes, I don't believe in luck.
All right, well, screw you then. Good luck to the rest of you guys. I hope you lose.
He hopes, but yeah, he hopes Bob
No,
wins.
I tell people this. We can do a science project. You can wear your your good luck jersey. You can go buy a lottery ticket. How many times would you win?
None.
Exactly.
Maybe one. You don't know.
See, I think it's the other way around. I've always told people we'll be talking long, and they're like, well, I'm not sure I feel comfortable, running that much or passing that much. Or I like to do this or I like to do that. And I'll tell them, you know what? If you think that wearing red underwear makes your game plan better, then put a pair of red underwear on before you game plan. If you think it makes you better, it probably does.
Well, hey, we learned this from Howie. The margaritas that he was drinking while he made his new game plan.
Oh, that's right.
Look at his last two preseason games.
Let's look
I
at
mean,
that. Hold
whatever
on.
it takes to increase your confidence to where you're comfortable with what you're doing, you're going to do better at it.
I mean, he dominated both of his last two preseason games on the margarita game plan. I'm going to have to try that now. I'm going to get fucking shit-faced drunk on margaritas and do a game plan. See what comes of it.
If Clay beats me opening week, I'll have a pitcher of margaritas up there when I'm game planning for week 2. You can bet on it.
Fellas, have an awesome game tomorrow.
All right.
You too. Take it easy, guys.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys.